Hi, this is Lee McQueen with some more election coverage, and I'm still talking about the Democrat side of the race, the Democrat primary, which has not ended, still ongoing. Washington, D.C. votes tomorrow night from the time of the recording of this video on June 14th. Bernie Sanders has been in Washington, D.C. He spoke at a rally a few days ago with Cornel West and Ben Jealous, still speaking about the progressive agenda and how to move forward with a progressive agenda, the perils of not moving forward with a progressive agenda. And after that rally, he also had a press conference at his home in Vermont, where he is treated like a welcoming, a hometown hero, surrounded by his supporters and family and friends. He claimed that he would remain in the race all the way up to the convention. He's been saying that all along, and it's as if people don't believe him. Like, are you still going to go to the convention? And he keeps saying yes, he is. He claims that he's going to be bringing his issues to the convention, which is July 25th through 28th. And at the convention, that's when the superdelegates actually cast their votes. They have not cast their votes yet, which is the reason why he's still in the race. Neither he nor Senator or former Secretary of State Clinton have sufficient delegates to actually clinch the nomination, despite what the mainstream media has claimed over and over and over and over and over and over. Former Secretary Clinton does not have sufficient delegates to win the Democrat primary. She will not have sufficient delegates until July 25th, 20 through 28th, when and if, unless and until the superdelegates actually cast a vote for her. In the meantime, there's some serious things brewing underneath the radar. And I say underneath the radar because it looks as though mainstream media has decided to hide and suppress anything that could possibly damage Clinton from completing her transition into the White House. And unfortunately, there are issues that are piling up one on top of each other. For instance, there is the possibility that California will flip for Bernie Sanders. There were approximately 2.5 million ballots that had not been counted before California was called for Hillary Clinton. And so it's possible that California will flip for Bernie Sanders. It's looking like the counting of those ballots is headed his direction. These are the mail-in ballots, and then also provisional ballots, and then ballots that were too damaged or could not be read by a machine. They have to be read by a human eye. And so these ballots are flipping towards Bernie Sanders. And when I say flipping towards, I mean 3 counties in California moved from Clinton's column into Bernie Sanders' column. That kind of flipping. And they're not even halfway through counting yet. So things are changing. Things are changing. And let's see. It's Glenn County flip for Bernie Sanders, and then San Luis Obispo County flip for Bernie Sanders, and then Santa Barbara County flip for Bernie Sanders. And so that means delegates and possibly super delegates are going to be flipping for Bernie Sanders. So that changes some perspective at least. But more with voting. I also wanted to mention that there is a federal lawsuit going forward on racketeering charges because there are several organizations that converged once allegations of fraud kind of reached a level that no one can ignore. organizations started putting checks into place in order to stop that. And so these checks were put into California citizen exit polling because official media-funded exit polling was canceled in New Jersey and in California for whatever reason. I think the reason I've heard is because it's expensive or something like that. But anyway, there's other speculations that the reason why these exit polls were canceled is because in New York and Arizona and then several other states, people began noticing that there was an outrageous discrepancy between the vote totals and then the exit polling data, larger than a 2% margin of error. They were just wildly different from the exit polling. And so it was just too much to ignore. And so checks were put into place in California. Besides the exit polling, citizen exit polling that was done, there were also other kinds of fraudulent charges, rigging, suppression, things like that. All that's going into the lawsuit, which is going to move forward. What people have been noticing is that vote data has been collected showing a shift in the vote calculations from Bernie's column to Hillary Clinton's column. And it's been consistently happening, and they've noticed it in at least 11 states. And so these are states that Bernie possibly has won, or in which he had a higher total than was actually reported, and that means more delegates. And that kind of affects the perception that Hillary Clinton had such a large lead over him with real people voting, as she kept telling us. These are real people. I always wondered why she felt she had to emphasize that it was real people voting for her, and maybe we know why. So anyway, that's something else that's happening under the radar. It's not really being reported loudly by mainstream media. It's being suppressed by other larger stories for reasons that the media has chosen to bury a lot of stories about Hillary Clinton. So that's one. And the lawsuit is actually mentioning such things as RICO and racketeering and corruption and fraud and allegations such as that. So it is going forward. Let's see. There's other news as well. All right, let me see if I got everything. Okay, well, I'm going to leave it there. But again, watch for California's final vote tally. I don't know how much progress they're going to be making, but I think it goes again to show the lack of responsibility and ethics, media ethics, that the Associated Press showed when they called the race early for Hillary Clinton. It was actually a lie. They reported lies, and they participated in fraud. And I think there's reasons for that I'm going to get into in another video.